Ask me whatever you want.
Okay, fantastic. I will pin the post first, so I will inform the community that we are live.
Okay.
And after that, I will let you present yourself for 30 seconds or 1 minute if you want. Most of people already know you.
Yeah, do you want me to do it right now?
Yeah, we are live now.
Oh, we're live. Okay, this is my first time, everybody. Thanks so much for having me, first off. I'm really excited for this conversation, but my name is Andrew Gazdecki. I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my whole life. Started a few businesses, sold a few businesses, and now I have another startup called Microacquire where I help other people buy and sell different types of small tech companies.
Fantastic. One of the company you built, you sold for a lot of money, right?
Man, I'm not like on Forbes, the billionaires or anything like that, but it was a life-changing acquisition. I'll say that.
Yeah, but how you can find your motivation after you sold a big business?
That's a really good question. I mean, the first business, I had another friend tell me when you're building the first business, it's kind of like purpose. And so what that means is when I was building business apps, I came from not a lot. My parents were kind of, it was a pretty poor upbringing. Um, when you don't grow up with a lot of money, money is kind of top of mind. And so that was like my ticket to a better life. And so I worked like 100-hour weeks and it's just like you'll do whatever it takes to push, this boulder up the hill, so to speak. Um, but I guess what I learned along the way is, when you're in the moment of building a startup, you're always thinking about, the destination. Like, I can't wait to sell this business and I'll be a millionaire. And that's like really what's going to make me happy. And this is why I built the business. And when I sold business apps, and for those who don't know what business apps is, it was a do-yourself mobile app builder, kind of like a no-code app builder in 2010 when the iPhone first came out. So it was one of those businesses like right place, right time, obvious solution to an obvious problem. Like, got completely lucky. But after I sold the business, I really realized I just love building businesses. So what I'm trying to say is, I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs that are like, I want to get to here, and that's when I'll be happy, or when I do this, I'll be happy. But I guess where I find my motivation now is I understand I enjoy the journey rather than the destination. So I enjoy the process of building businesses and meeting cool people like you and doing fun podcasts like this and inspiring other entrepreneurs. That's what motivates me. The other stuff, like this shirt's from Target. I bought this hat like 2 years ago. I have no material wants. My friends call me Simple Gaz. Like, I don't own anything nice. So I mean, I'm very fortunate to have gone through an experience like that where I could um, think about buying something cool. But what makes me happy is helping other entrepreneurs and building businesses. So I guess I'd press a lot of entrepreneurs to really think about why are they building their business, and when they sell it, like, is that really going to make them happy, or are they just going to go and start another business? And 9 times out of 10, most entrepreneurs, when they have a successful exit, they start another business.
100%. This is also my journey somehow. I sold a couple of companies, and right now I am helping founders totally free with this podcast. And I have some guests like you because I want to let other people know that if they want to be happy in the future, they will not reach that point. They need to understand that success and happiness, they are separate, right?
Oh, completely. Like, one of the main things that, not to be like, woe is me, because again, I'm very, very fortunate and blessed. But when I sold business apps, like, I went through a period of like kind of just being bummed out all the time, because I had like this awesome team. I loved my customers. I loved the product we were building. And then all of a sudden, you're just gone and you have all this free time. And I obviously started another business immediately after that, but you look back and you're like, I really enjoyed, all the things I just mentioned, like the team, the product, the customers. But I do want to say, the exit is a very important part of a founder's journey. So, it's always good to have an exit in mind because it's allowed me to build other businesses, help other entrepreneurs. I think have a much larger impact than if I just had kept the business that we're referring to.
Tell me, I read on your website that you bootstrap a business from 0 to 10 million in revenue.
Yep.
Bootstrap, what it means, bootstrap? Without investors, without...
Yeah, so technically, so we raised 50,000 when I was in college. So I launched a business when I was 21, raised 50,000 from two local angel investors, very small checks. And then I raised another 60,000 from another angel investor. So in total, we raised 110,000, but we never really spent it. So it's not technically like 000 bootstrap, but I say it's bootstrap because you can't get very far with $100,000. So the way that we financed the business was, the only other way is through customer revenue. And so we were just really, focused on building a great product and reinvesting revenue from customers to fuel more growth in the business. But yeah, we raised 110,000 for that business.
Tell me, please, let's talk a little bit about Microacquire. How you find the idea for this project?
This is a great question. So I actually was looking to buy a SaaS company myself after I sold my second business. My second business was a crypto trading company. We built like a altcoin. We built a decentralized trading engine on the Ethereum blockchain. It's kind of complicated to explain, so I won't go into detail into that. But that company was just acquired by BNK to the Future, and I didn't want to just start from scratch again. I thought, my passions are like sales, marketing, branding, storytelling, go to market. I really like kind of growing the businesses. I also love kind of the ideation stage when you're just like, how are we going to make this work? What's the business model? Who's the customer? But I thought, yeah, but I was like, why don't I buy a business? And so I looked at, some spots where you can buy businesses today, brokers, marketplaces, and I just noticed there's nothing specific to SaaS companies or small tech companies with real revenue, with real customers, with real employees. And so I thought, Microacquire should exist in the market. And I just kind of scratched my own itch, I guess. So I built a marketplace where me as a founder, if I'm running a multi-million-dollar business, how would that marketplace work? So for me, it needed to be private. It needed to be anonymous. There needed to be some mechanics built in so I know who the buyers are. Like, how do I verify who I should be providing information to? So long story short, I built what I wanted when I was selling both of my companies.
Fantastic. Do you think this is the future of merger and acquisition for digital assets?
I do think so. I think there's a lot of inefficiencies in terms of specifically investment banking and business brokering. It's an industry that has a lot of handshakes and steak dinners and just very high commissions when really a lot of those processes can be streamlined with software. So what that means is instead of working with an investment bank or business broker and paying a commission of 15% to sell your business, you can work with a marketplace like Microacquire, get live within a day or two, start meeting buyers within 72 hours at the most. Really having just access to the largest pool of potential tech buyers in the world very quickly. And so those are some of the problems that I'm looking to solve with Microacquire. Is just, when you think about acquisitions today, it's such a fragmented market with the businesses that are for sale, the tools that people use. There's no platform end to end that allows you to find businesses and then also sell businesses with tools such as escrow or streamlining. Like, what legal docs do you use? Like, most founders don't know what an LOI is or an asset purchase agreement or stock purchase agreement. What attorney should you use? When should you bring in an M&A advisor? Where do you find an M&A advisor? What escrow system should you use? What are normal due diligence requests? Like, it's just,
and more. The list is big. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so confusing. And so my goal with Microacquire is to bring all of that onto one platform. So as a founder, you feel comfortable selling your business and you're able to get the advisory that you need, whether that's on the legal side or from an M&A advisor to just help you through the process and with negotiations. So yeah, I think, I'm hopeful that, I guess I'll put it this way. My goal with Microacquire is to help tens of thousands of entrepreneurs exit their business. And I think we're just kind of scratching the surface of that.
I know you want to enjoy the journey, but from my point of view, this company will be a unicorn. Is just my opinion, or you have the same opinion like me?
I mean, that's not my personal goal. I guess I would be cool, but I think helping 10,000 entrepreneurs exit would be a cooler goal. If someone says, hey, you've helped 10,000 entrepreneurs exit, you're now a unicorn on paper, that's fine. But it's a big opportunity because again, as a founder, there's so much information about how to grow your startup, how to raise venture capital, how to do everything but sell your business. And that's one of the most important moments as a founder. It was for me, at least. It changed my life. But going through the process, even I was like, what? Like the buyer requested this information. Is that normal? Like, is this valuation fair? Like all of these questions. That's another thing that we're going to be solving in Microaquire's valuations. So it's a big problem. And I think it's something that the startup community as a whole will benefit from. So, I mean, we'll see, but I appreciate that.
Okay, so I just told you before we go live, I follow 10 people that I think, 10 entrepreneurs that I think they will become billionaires, and you are one of the 10 list on the list.
I said I appreciate the compliment. I would have to probably disagree, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell my wife. I'm gonna say, hey, we might be a billionaire. Some guys bet on us.
because, because you are a humble person, and that's why. But what you are doing on the market, your impact, your positive impact on the market will bring you at that level, you know.
I appreciate that. I really do.
This position will not take your happiness. It's just business, and from my point of view, you will succeed big times. So you already did it in the past. Forbes, TechCrunch, New York Times talk about you, but I think they will have another news in a couple of years, and I wait for for that moment.
If that happens, I'll be sure to send you a gift because you made it happen. But one thing I want to touch on there is, I think being happy and being positive is so powerful as an entrepreneur. I think of startups as kind of like a game. There's rules to the game. There's people who have played the game. You can read books about the game, but no one likes to play a game that you hate. If you're playing, I don't know, let's use like an example. I play Madden. I play a lot of Madden, or Call of Duty, but you would never play Call of Duty if you hated it. And then you can never be good at something if you hate it. So that's another thing I would really, push entrepreneurs to think about is, Naval, the founder of AngelList, he calls it founder product market fit, where you find something that you would just do for free because you enjoy it so much more. And it's so hard to compete with a founder that truly enjoys what they're doing every day and is just super positive. There's obviously stuff in any business that just sucks, like the servers go down or customer complaint, like that stuff's inevitable. But if the majority of the work that you're doing is fun to you, your chances of success are like 1,000% more than if you literally don't enjoy the game like that.
100%. People see you if you are positive or not. Yeah, you cannot hide this energy you have.
Yeah, I mean, but it all comes back to you. It's like you can brush stuff off a lot easier. Your perspective is a little different. Another tip I'll give entrepreneurs randomly is I keep a journal where I write about my wins and kind of my losses each month. Nothing like crazy, nothing like, dear journal, how are you? And like, if you found it, it wouldn't be awkward or anything like that. I write, This is how much we grew. These are my goals. This is kind of something I'm worried about. And one thing I found is anytime I've done that and I write down something I'm worried about and I read it the next month, I've already forgotten about it. Like literally, like so the point there is every week, every day as an entrepreneur, you're usually faced with some sort of obstacle that feels like your business is going to crumble, like, oh my gosh, this customer's leaving. But what you'll start to realize if you write this down is that whatever you're worried about today, you're not going to be worried about in 2 weeks. So just calm down, realize everything's going to work itself out and you'll be in a much better mood. And when you're in a much better mood, you can make much better decisions. And when you can make really good decisions, you can grow your business a lot faster.
So, I want to ask you for an advice, the best advice you know. You already give us a lot, but what's the best advice you know and you can share with the community?
That's advice. Like something I'm going to go with understanding just the importance of, okay, so as an entrepreneur, to build something great, you need great people. It's that simple. Like literally, that's all it takes. Like you need to find product market fit, and then you need to find great people, and then that's literally the simplest way to build a business. But when you go and look for those people, I always looked for motivation, attitude, and skill set in that order. So I always look to hire and work with people that just had good attitudes, that were really motivated before their skill sets. Because if you have a team where everybody gets along, let me put it another way. Your goal as a founder should be to find a product that you love working on with a team that you laugh with daily. And if you find that, you've literally won the lottery. Like that should be your whole goal. You can set goals of becoming a unicorn, making X amount of money, but the key components of making that happen is having a product you love building with a team that you really enjoy working with every single day. So, focusing on building a team that, is there through the good times and the bad times and you enjoy working with, I think is huge.
Fantastic. What is failure for you? Because I have this is from Alex, the CEO at Wadev. Yeah, it's a gift from
Oh,
him.
nice. I like
What? Yeah, because you see it positive. This is how I test people. If they see it only takes 1 year for success as a positive, or they see just a lot of failures as negative, this is how I test people. But what is your perspective regarding failure? Because we all fail sometimes. Yeah, you said you have some attacks on server or stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd probably just change failure to just lessons. I mean, every time you fail, like you just learn something, and like a startup is never really a failure in my mind. Like you always learn something, like you always have some piece of experience. You learn so much more through failure. I can tell you, like, if you ask me about the stuff I've done incorrectly, I can think of it like immediately. The stuff where I've done correctly, I kind of have to like think like, what did I do correctly? But it just kind of like you remember your mistakes because you don't want to make them again because they're kind of painful. So that's another perspective, is when you do make mistakes and you do have failures, just remember that like in the future, that's valuable. Like some of the best, my favorite, like I speak with a lot of entrepreneurs like Alex over at Wadev, and a number of other entrepreneurs. And my favorite advice to give is telling mistakes or failures that I've made so they can avoid those. Because those are great learning lessons. Like, hey, I've done this. It went this way. Please avoid this mistake. But you learn a lot from failures. So I would just change failure to lessons because that's really what they are.
Thank you very much. I will do this. I will talk with Alex to change this.
Yeah.
Tell me, I saw that your last blog post was 2 years ago. What happens? Why did you decide to not share with the community on your website on andrewgazdecki.com?
Oh, I stopped updating that one. If you want to get my latest blog post, go to Microacquire and go to the resource section. But
Okay.
I also wrote a full book. So I wrote an entire book about building business apps. That's going to be out probably in like 2 months. It's going to be completely free. It's not a book on like I'm the man and this is how you build like a great company. It's just my candid story of building a startup when I was 21 and then exiting it when I was 29 and uh, avoiding venture capital. And it's kind of like a just it was such a crazy ride. Managing a lot of people when you're young is just weird. You look back and you're like, what was I doing? Because I had no sales experience. I'm not a technical founder. We didn't raise a lot of capital. The company I didn't have any co-founders. So it's just this story. It's just this unlikely success story, a small success. So I thought it'd be a good thing to write. So I have that coming out. So that's where a lot of my writing time has been spent.
So do you think selling a company for more than $20 million, it's a small success, right?
I mean, again, it was such a interesting sort of like way to spend your 20s, you know, managing people. And we, you know, candidly, we kind of pioneered like mobile app development in a small way because at one point we developed more mobile apps than any other company in the world. So we were like Apple's top publisher for a small period of time. Now there's tons of different tools to build mobile apps, but we were like one of the first to build these really easy to use tools to develop iOS applications. So yeah, it's just a cool story of just kind of capitalizing on, you know, big trend and making a ton of mistakes along the way and somehow, you know, making it work.
The story about you sending an email to the CEO at Tim Cook, it's real.
Yeah.
So you just send him a cold email.
Yeah, so I'm guessing you listened to the Built to Sell podcast, is that correct? Yeah, so that was the first time I've ever told that story. So one correction I want to make on that story is I shared with him. Do you know who Megan Kelly is? She
Unfortunately, not.
she's a very she used to have her own talk show. She's very famous. I can send you the video, but uh, we had made an app that helped prevent teen suicide, and we came across this video with Megan Kelly sitting down with these uh, teenagers who were using the application, talking about it and how it is positively helping them with, you know, connecting with others that might be in the same situation as them. Just, you know, just an application providing a lot of like real value to people who really need it. And I just sent tcook at apple.com an email just saying, hey, this app was built with a template. Your new guidelines say this doesn't belong in the App Store. Do you agree? And one thing led to the next, and you know, had some conversations with some Apple execs, and you know, worked with them to kind of help them rethink some of the guideline changes that they had, you know, put a wrench in. So that was cool. That was, you know, probably the coolest email I've ever sent.
I see. You need to have courage to do that, because if my Facebook account is blocked, I will not call Mark Zuckerberg to ask him for a favor, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is sometimes, you know, the high risk, high reward, and it paid off.
You give us a lot of advices. Thank you very much for your time, Andrew. And guys, microacquire.com is the place where you can sell or buy. Most of companies there are software as a service, right?
Yeah, actually SaaS, e-commerce, mobile apps, even some crypto companies, other marketplaces, pretty much any type of small tech company you could newsletters is on Microacquire, so definitely check it out. Or if you have one and you're looking to sell, it's completely free without commissions or fees. So definitely check it out.
Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Have a fantastic day, Andrew.
You too.